I was getting home one day. I decided to play SDR2 on my Xbox. I left off from Chapter 2. I went until the class trial. That took me 2-3 hours to get there. I went through an hour and a half of the class trial. I got to Peko's execution. It was normal until when Fuiko was supposed to show up. He wasn't there. That was strange. I rebooted the game after Fuiko's disappearance. I went back but when the execution played, it was normal until Fuiko's appearance. He wasn't there again. I thought it was a bug. Instead of grieving over accidentally hitting Fuiko, she kept going. Then there were no robots left. More robots kept appearing over and over. 10 minutes later, Peko finally defeated the robots. The execution ended. I was really confused because Peko was supposed to die. Instead, she survived. Monokuma was frustrated. He banged the execution button with his gavel over and over. Nothing happened. Fuiko said I hope she's okay. Monokuma said no. This isn't supposed to happen. At the Chapter 2 ending screen, only Mahiru's silhouette turned pink. Peko's turned red for some reason. Chapter 3 started as usual. When it got to Akon's execution, I thought I saw a giant hill in the distance. When Nekomaru blocked the hit, the screen cut to a distorted image for a couple milliseconds. I couldn't get time to look at the details. Nekomaru didn't take any damage surprisingly when he got hit. Akon survived. The next morning, the despair disease motive was supposed to occur, but instead of Akon crying, Nagito lying, and Ibuki being really gullible, they all were acting like Peko and had red eyes. I was confused. They also had the same sprite poses as Peko. This was strange. Monokuma appeared angry. He said what? This wasn't supposed to happen. Toko asked why are they all acting like that gross serial killer. After that ordeal, Hajime left the restaurant and saw the same hill and saw during Akon's execution and the one where Peko's execution took place. I decided to interact with it when I got to the beach. I saw a giant voodoo doll. Hajime said what, that wasn't there before. Hajime looked at it and saw Peko's face on it. It was the same one from her execution. I then went to the map and when I got to Island 3 to visit the hospital, Ibuki was missing. I checked everywhere, no sign of Ibuki. I saw a new bridge that wasn't there before when I got to Central Island. I went up that bridge and when I got there, it was the same hill. I saw Peko in a trash bag. Hajime talked to Peko. Peko said you surprised? With a smirk on her face, Hajime said what's in that trash bag? Peko grabbed it, opened it, and showed Hajime. Hajime saw Ibuki in there with multiple sword wounds. Peko then said like what you see? Hajime said no you serial killer. Ibuki wasn't dead. Her last words were Hajime. You must run. That disease is gone. Just run. For your life. Ibuki then died after that sentence. A cutscene started and Peko's execution music played. Peko stared at Hajime smiling creepily. When Hajime stepped on the bridge, Peko started to chase Hajime, her sword dragging along the stone. Hajime made it to the bridge, but Peko was fast. Hajime made it out before the bridge closed. Peko was too late and slammed into the gate. Hajime went back home. The next day, Akon was missing this time. Hajime got scared. That could mean Peko got Akon as well. Hajime searched the hospital. She wasn't there. Hajime then saw Akon hiding behind the rock. Hajime asked what's wrong Akon? Akon said Peko escaped. Run for your life Hajime, you could be next. Hajime started running. As Hajime was running, he went to Central Island. He saw that the gate to Island 6 was broken. Hajime panicked more. I closed the game. I played Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. As I was playing Team Vanquish, I saw a 3D model of Peko. She wouldn't stop chasing me. I shot at her, she didn't take any damage. She caught up to me and one-shot me. I was playing as Arctic Trooper. The plants instantly won. I raged. instead of the results screen. I saw a creepy version of Peko. Peko had no eyes, blood leaking out of her sockets. She kept whispering "return now." I went to Minecraft. As I was playing in my survival world, a Minecraft Peko chased me. She could open doors, climb any block, and do anything. She flew towards me and one-shotted me again. I lost my world forever. The death message said the same thing as what Peko said in Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. I went back to Super Danganronpa 2. I loaded back. I then saw a con hanging from a tree at Jabberwock Park. I was terrified. Hajime had a breakdown. Peko appeared and told Hajime to run. Hajime started running. Peko was catching up. Hajime managed to get inside his cottage. For the rest of the day, Hajime was in his cottage. Peko staring at him through the window. Hajime went to sleep. The Monokuma theater showed Monokuma really frustrated. Monokuma couldn't execute Peko because the execution mechanism wasn't working. Monokuma opened the execution activation button. It showed Ibuki's dead body crammed in between the wires. Monokuma got shocked. The next morning, it was rainy. Nekomaru was sad. He saw Akon's dead body last night. Nagito was missing from the hospital. Mitten was having a mental breakdown. Mitten walked around the hospital and islands. Mitten saw Nagito with his throat slit near the gate to Island 6. Mitten saw Peko holding Ibuki's decapitated head. Mitten screamed and ran away. She got to Hajime's cottage. Hajime opened and Mitten was sobbing and wet from the rain. She pushed her way inside. Later on, the rain stopped. Kazuichi heard weird sounds at Nekomaru's cottage. He peeked and saw Nekomaru massaging Hilko instead of Akon. Kazuichi closed the door. Kazuichi told Hajime. Hajime said okay, but I need Mitten to get off of me first. Hajime peeked through the door and saw what Kazuichi said. Nekomaru massaging Hilko. Hajime looked away. Chapter 3 then ended suddenly. It showed Ibuki, Akon, and Nagito's silhouettes turning pink, signifying that they're dead. Chapter 4 started and everyone arrived. Some people like Nekomaru, Hilko and Mitten went to the funhouse. They saw a figure standing there. It was Peko. The three tried to run, but they suddenly found themselves in a room made of bamboo. Peko appears and crushes all three of them with a giant stone pillar. Blood splattered everywhere. Hajime wondered where Nekomaru and Mitten were. He saw the funhouse and blood was leaking out of the exterior. Hajime knew something was up. Peko then appeared and raised her sword above Hajime. Peko stabbed Hajime through the head. Hajime died. Peko then went on a rampage and everyone else died, even Fuiko. Chapter 4 ended and everyone except Peko was pink. The game crashed. I tried to go back in, but every time I did, I would see a creepy picture of Peko smiling at me. I turned off the Xbox and went to bed. I had a moment to think about what I just witnessed. Every night, I kept having nightmares about Peko.